Yo, what's good everybody? It's your boy Boone coming at you guys with a brand new video. Before we get into today's video, I have to show you guys some love for just all the love you showed me on my sale that I had yesterday. If you guys are wondering why I didn't upload yesterday, I ended up having like so much to do for this big sale I was having on my website. On Instagram at Sales Select, I have a huge selling page you guys did not know, and I have sales probably like every other week or so with some Supreme Grails, vintage Grails. You know, I do it all. I go big. I think I had like 30 different orders, including like 20 orders in the first like 30 minutes, which is just unreal. So thank you all so much that showed love and support. You guys are the ones that allow me to do this. Like anyone that just buys from my website is the reason I'm here on YouTube, because I'm just saying YouTube ain't giving me no type of check. So shout out to everyone that showed love and support on that. And also I want to give a quick shout out to my homies over at Cop Cove. If you guys don't know what Cop Cove is the next up and coming subscription service for Supreme, just hype items in general. Actually, it's not just Supreme. They're starting to move into some new items. Like this next upcoming week's drop has some undefeated Air Maxes in it. So you already know Cop Cove is the plug. Big shout out to Christian as well as Subfed, Tia for just giving me the opportunity to be a part of Cop Cove. There will be a Cop Cove live cop coming up very soon, you guys, and it's gonna be an exciting video because I've never really done one of these subscription type services before. So you just pay $50 a month and you get to go for these drops. You get to go for 2 different drops and you can easily make your money back in 1 drop. You can double your money in 1 drop, and if you get like at least 1 decent item in 2 drops, then you're like gonna be up over $100. I'm telling you, this is a really sick service and I would not be backing it if I did not fully trust it. There's no botting on the website, nothing like that. I just really quickly wanted to share with you guys just to give you the opportunity to go join Cop Cove. Definitely a very cool service that I'm going to be continuing to use for upcoming months. So get ready for some of these Cop Cove live cops. I'm very excited to film them for all of you. All their links and stuff are in the description if you'd like to go join. Let's get into talking about the top 5 worst Supreme collabs of all time. This is a video I talked about doing a while ago. Like before I went to New York, I remember I said I might make a video on this just because I think it'd be an interesting thing to talk about. I actually looked it up on YouTube and I could not find any top 5 or just any kind of list of the worst Supreme collabs that have ever happened. I've seen like worst Supreme items, but I want to talk about the worst Supreme collabs as a whole. So what I did is I just went through every single collab they've done since like 2005, pretty much every collab I could find. And honestly, something I found is a lot of the older collabs like just really don't seem to be as bad as the newer collabs they do now. Like of course there's obscure collabs and stuff like that, but I think just because something's obscure doesn't mean it's necessarily bad. And I think people get mistaken for that a lot nowadays with Supreme. A good example of that is like the Supreme Nancy Golden collab. I'm sure a lot of you think that collab is absolute trash, and in my opinion it's not really a good collab at all. I don't like the collab. Obviously I don't, because I didn't buy anything from it, but I don't think that means it's a bad collab just because it's not for everyone. Part of Supreme's like mystique is just being unique and trying to be really out there and obscure with their collabs, and I'm glad that they have those obscure collabs every once in a while. I think it's important, but I know a lot of the hype beasts don't care for it. So in today's list, I just want to specify some like different qualifications I guess I had for some of these collabs being really trash. Basically any collabs that are really hyped up, like Supreme Nike, Supreme North Face, things that we expect to be really good and end up being terrible, I consider that a very bad collab. Also collabs that have happened before and then they did a second take of that collab and it was way worse, I think that's a huge disappointment and a very bad collab. So those are just 2 of the biggest qualifications I used for this list. If you guys are curious as to how I gathered this list, all of these are my own opinions, so please don't be tripping too hard if I diss something you enjoy. Clothing obviously is very subjective. We all have our own opinions. These are my opinions of the top 5 worst Supreme collabs that have ever happened. Drop a like if you guys enjoyed this video, and if you want more top 5s, just let me know in the comments and just comment any top 5 you'd like to see. I used to do a ton of these. Actually, I think I have a playlist I'd probably do somewhere, so go check the description if you want to see my other top 5s and comment other top 5s you want me to see. I feel like I just said the word top 5s like 10 times in a sentence, so I think it's time to start this video. Let's jump right into it. So starting it off at number 5, we have the Supreme Independent collab. This collab was a part of the Fall/Winter 17 season, which I thought was actually a pretty solid season. However, this collab to me was very disappointing. Supreme Independent had done a collab I think a year, maybe 2 years before prior, and I thought that was a dope collab. It featured a lot of the Fuck the Rest branding that is the logo of Independent. If you guys don't know what Independent is, it is a skate company. Already off the bat, just because Independent's a skate company and doesn't really affiliate themselves that much with clothing, I feel like this was like a very niche type of collab for Supreme just because it was really meant for skaters. But I thought this first collab they did was really fire. I'm not even talking about that collab. The second collab though, I thought was such a fall off from the first and like just so much dumbed down, way lazier, and I thought that's why it deserved to be on this list. If you take a look at these items, basically Supreme just took the Independent branding, put their name over it, and just slapped it on a ton of t-shirts, crew necks, like jackets. And the reason I put it on this list is because I think it's so lazy. I don't think it's a really good collab at all. Nobody really asked for a Supreme Independent Part 2. I'm sure some of you guys watching this like Independent a lot and are probably like, tripping that I hate this collab so much, much, but I'm just so disappointed with it. Like, it was such a fall off from the first one and just so lazy, so that's why I put it in this list only at the number 5 slot. It's gonna get a lot worse from here, folks. Next up at the number 4 slot, I had to put the Nancy Golden collab. Honestly, I don't think this is like that terrible of a collab where it necessarily deserves to be on this list, but it got so much hate this season and I can kind of understand why. It is a very weird topic that makes some people uncomfortable. Just because you don't like the t-shirt doesn't mean you don't support transsexuality. I feel like that's a big conception a lot of people seem to have. I think visually this collab is not super ugly, but I think like the kind of controversial topic threw people off of it. I'm not trying to make this video political or anything like that, so we're not going to go into some kind of debate about transsexuality or anything like that. I think there were some cool pieces in this collab. I think the skate decks look interesting. However, I do think the clothing pieces are kind of lazy. They literally just took Nancy Golden's pictures, slapped the Supreme box logo on it, so that's very, very lazy in my opinion. I don't think it necessarily deserves to be on this list, but when I was making this list and asking people on Instagram Live what I should put on it, so many people said this collab, I felt like I had to mention it in this video, so that's why it's at the number 4 slot. I swear you guys, I tried my best to go back and find some older collabs to feature into this video, but I feel like this collab just was so just like underwhelming and just so terrible that I had to include it. If you guys are wondering what collab I'm talking about, it's the Supreme North Face drop that happened this season. I just thought this drop was so underwhelming, poorly done, badly executed, just looks terrible, not really like something wearable at all in my opinion, way flashy, just out there, just I hated everything about this collab. There were some pieces I could kind of enjoy. I did like the t-shirt and I did like the side bag, but besides that, it was really a forced liking. If there's any item I could somewhat deal with. Honestly, why I put this on this list is just because we're so used to Supreme North Face being so good. Even when Supreme North Face feels bad, like Steep Tech I thought was bad, but Steep Tech compared to this year's drop is way better. I just thought this was such an underwhelming drop, so I had to put it on this list. Definitely like there's way uglier collabs Supreme's done out there, but this collab is just so underwhelming to me and was just so poorly executed. I feel like it deserved to be on this list. I think Supreme TNF needs to be held to a higher standard than most of the other Supreme drops that happened, and I thought this one just was so far away from that standard. Let me know if you guys think this was the worst Supreme TNF collab of all time this season. I'm really curious to see. Now we're down to the final 2 slots. To be honest, I could have put another collab from this season in one of these slots. If you guys are curious which collab that was, Supreme NBA Nike. Whew, that shit was trash. But I didn't want to be like just only doing stuff from this season, so I had to reach back a little bit, do a little digging, and what I found were these horrible Supreme Thrasher pieces. I remember when this collab happened, SS17 I believe, just off the top of my head, and man was this an underwhelming collab as well. So Supreme Thrasher already happened before, and I thought the first collab they did was actually super fire. It wasn't too much, like it was definitely something we expected, just like a Thrasher logo with the Supreme logo. Nothing too crazy, nothing too out there, very clean, very basic, but I mean I thought it worked. I thought it was a great collab, but this second collab they did, not only was it not original at all, it looked like a carbon copy of the first collab, but they like dumbed it down and made it even worse. It took a picture that already existed on Thrasher t-shirts, slapped it onto this t-shirt, and just put the exact same logo they had from the first collab. I thought this collab just was a major step back from the first one they did. I did not like any of the pieces from it. The all over prints I thought were terrible. The colorways I thought were terrible. I just absolutely hated this collab. I thought it was so bad. I remember when I first saw it leak, I was just like, what the hell is this Supreme? Like, you'd think Supreme Thrasher would go way harder, and this was in the heyday of Thrasher when it was really just on like the up, like the brand you saw everyone wearing. Kylie Jenner was wearing it, so yeah, I expected some crazy Supreme Thrasher heat, but man did we not receive that. I'm sure again some of you are really gonna fight me about this drop, but I just thought it was so terribly done. It was so boring. It just looked bad. Like I did not like any piece from this drop at all, so I had to put it on this list at number 2. I really thought this was a horrible collab, and I could not find a single item that I did not just like really dislike. If you guys have made it through all these puke-worthy collabs so far, drop a like because you are a champion. You must have a pretty strong stomach, because I mean I was gagging a little bit making this list, I'm not gonna front. At the number 1 slot, this collab, man, I thought it was a joke. Like I almost thought it was a meme when I first saw it get announced, because like no way is Supreme really doing this collab right now. And if you want to know what I'm talking about, it's the Supreme Nike Humera collab. Oh my god, bro. Those shoes are the biggest bricks I've ever seen. It's almost like the second version of the Supreme brick. Like if you guys missed when the Supreme brick originally dropped, you should have just gotten a pair of these Nike Humeras because they're pretty much the exact same thing. Damn, these shoes look so bad. The colorway is terrible. The model's terrible. Everything about it is just so bad to me. I absolutely hated this collab. It looks like some terrible Jolly Ranchers, but even comparing in the Jolly Ranchers, I feel like is a knock on Jolly Ranchers because at least those taste good. I thought every colorway this collab was trash. Even the black colorway was just boring. Like on the jacket, I know the jacket was the most popular part of this collab, but I thought even it was really bad. The black looked like decent and looked passable, but even then I did not think it was fire at all. I thought the hats were bad. I thought just everything about this collab was terrible. Definitely the worst Supreme Nike collab. So let me know what you guys think of my list. I'm sure there'll be a lot of disagreeing, but I want to have a little debate in the comments. I mean, just feel free to share your opinion. I always read my comments, so I'll try my best to get back to you. If you guys want more top 5s, drop a like and just let me know what top 5s you want. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Thank you all so much yet again for just the support on the sale. It's been your boy Boone. Go check out Cop Cove if you haven't already. You're so sleep. Come on. I hope you all enjoyed the video. I'm out. Peace.